Hello everyone, and welcome to the last GatorFit clinic of the semester. My name is Nellie, and I'm the Personal Training Student Manager at Bashu Wellness Center. Today I'll be talking in length about SMR, or self-myofascial release, or known commonly to you as foam rolling. Self-myofascial release is not just foam rolling, and there are many ways you can perform self-myofascial release other than foam rolling. This is such a new and hotly debated topic in fitness, and I'll be detailing why it is contested in fitness. Here's the overview of today's agenda. First, I'll go over the definition of SMR briefly and when would we apply SMR to our body. Next, I'll be discussing what is corrective exercise and how SMR plays an important role in the corrective exercise strategy. After that, we will discuss research in SMR and its efficacy in fitness. As I mentioned, SMR techniques are often debated, and we will go over why it is so contested among trainers and health professionals. Next, we'll be getting into the actual application of SMR, especially the general technique, recommendations on when and how long to perform SMR techniques, and general examples on how to use SMR techniques on various muscles around the body. Then we will discuss the numerous amounts of tools in SMR. There are different variations of SMR tools, but have general categories, which are cylindrical rollers, handheld devices, and vibration devices. Lastly, I need to go over the precautions and contraindications surrounding SMR techniques, as it is not recommended to perform SMR if you have specific medical conditions, and we will get into more detail when we get to that section. So as I mentioned, SMR is self-myofascial release, and from here on out, I will be referring to it as SMR. SMR, by definition, is a flexibility technique used to inhibit overactive muscle fibers. And by overactive muscles, I'm talking about muscles that are under constant activity throughout a movement, usually compensating for a weaker underactive muscle. This imbalance of muscular activity is due to neuromusculoskeletal dysfunction caused by poor posture and or repetitive movements, leading your body to believe it's injured. Your body doesn't know you're not injured, but the imbalance of muscle activity makes the body believe it is injured. So as a safety mechanism, the body creates adhesions or knots, as shown in the picture, to prevent further activity and stress to the muscle. Those adhesions can lead to more pain and immobilization of that muscle, which as trainers, we want to prevent. Unfortunately, it's all too common and all too little addressed because the influence of technology and how we are often overworked in society. So we're kind of going to take a closer look into poor posture versus repetitive movements. As we know, this pandemic has made us more reliant on computers and phones due to working from home, which means we're constantly sitting down looking at our screens all day. Depending on your sitting posture, it can be painful and unhealthy for your body to be constantly out of balance by poor sitting posture. So look at this person on the laptop and this person on the phone. With hunched shoulders and forward neck, all putting a strain on their anterior muscles, which makes them become more overactive, while the posterior muscles on the back become underactive and weak. This is the muscle imbalance we talked about. Muscle imbalance can be inevitable, especially if your occupation involves repetitive movements, such as construction or agricultural work. There will be more muscle imbalance in these type of occupations because they require using bigger, bulkier tools, and with such tools, you tend to favor your dominant hand all the way to have control over the tools. Prolonged activity using such tools will cause those imbalances, leading to injuries like tendinitis or carpal tunnel. This is where SMR can play a vital role in corrective exercise. or simply put, the systematic process of identifying and addressing a neuromusculoskeletal dysfunction. There are 4 key phases of the corrective exercise continuum: inhibit, lengthen, activate, and integrate. Each step involves implementing a specific strategy to correct dysfunction in the body, and SMR is the first strategy implemented in corrective exercise, which is to inhibit overactive muscle fibers. Before we can begin to address dysfunction, we need to make sure that those overactive shortened muscle fibers are inhibited before beginning to lengthen those same fibers, and then activating and strengthening the underactive muscles, eventually integrating all muscles to perform dynamic movement. That's essentially how corrective exercise strategies are performed, which might sound confusing, so don't fret if you don't completely understand. Now on to the research within SMR. As I mentioned, research on SMR is limited and somewhat controversial, as not enough information is out about the efficacy of SMR techniques on performance and flexibility. Researchers say SMR can show short-term improvements on flexibility and range of motion, even reporting on how it can aid in recovery from tough workouts, while others say that there's no distinguishable difference in performance and flexibility. Understandably, fitness and health professionals must consider all pros and cons about new topics and techniques in fitness and rehabilitation before recommending to their clients. As more research comes out each year measuring the effectiveness of SMR on performance, people can consider their options when deciding to integrate SMR into their fitness routines. While more gyms and rehab clinics encourage clients to perform SMR before and after sessions to prepare them for exercise and to assist in the recovery process. Now on to the application of SMR, starting with the overall general technique. In this example, I'm referring to how this technique would be applied using foam rollers, but there are dozens of SMR tools, which we will discuss later, and this technique can be applied to virtually any SMR tool. The technique is essentially applying excess pressure to the muscles being rolled over, stopping over areas where you feel the most tension or knots. When applying that excess pressure, there are receptors within those muscles called mechanoreceptors, and they are monitoring any excess tension to the muscle. And when there's excess pressure on those muscle or fascia, aka connective tissue, a relaxing response is initiated as a defense mechanism to prevent further pressure and tension to the muscle and fascia, therefore releasing tension. I think this picture accurately depicts how SMR is performed from a muscular viewpoint. However, this will vary with the tool used, especially with the fact that foam rollers come in different shapes and foam densities. Each would affect the way you will apply pressure to those muscles. On to recommendations. Now, the research is out on how often you can perform SMR techniques, but there's no evidence disputing it can't be performed daily. The National Academy of Sports Medicine recommends performing SMR techniques daily, with 1 set per muscle group for approximately 30 to 90 seconds over each tender spot. The time varies on the user level and the tool used. For beginners who never foam rolled before, it's recommended that they perform 90 seconds of light to moderate pressure over the tender spot, while more advanced users can go with less time and more pressure over the tender spot. The material of the SMR device must be factored in as well, as denser objects can apply more pressure with less user application. Here are some examples on how SMR techniques can vary with instrument. Notice that the general technique of providing excess pressure applies to each tool. Up here, we have the Theracane, a device with multiple knobs, great for those smaller or hard-to-reach muscle areas, such as the neck or deep muscles within the scapular region. Next, we have a tennis ball applying pressure to the plantar fascia of the foot. Our feet are always under stress since we're on our feet constantly, and applying SMR can relax and massage achy feet. Onto the massage stick, which honestly looks and functions like a pin roller, except you roll it on your body. In this example, the individual is applying it to the quads, but it could be versatile enough to apply anywhere along the body. Lastly, we have the traditional foam roller, and in this example, the individual is rolling out on their calves. Notice that this individual is placing their opposite leg over the working leg, demonstrating that you can apply more pressure if you don't feel enough tension in the original stance. For any SMR technique, proper form and alignment are important, as not only the muscle that SMR is being performed on needs to be relaxed, but we do not want further misalignment or imbalance from other muscles and joints. Now we will be transitioning onto the various categories of SMR tools, starting with cylindrical rollers. Traditional rollers are smooth and somewhat soft, like the blue roller, but foam density can vary, with more dense foam applying extra pressure. PVC pipes also make good rollers too, but since it's a hard plastic, more pressure will be applied to the muscles. There are other rollers that have these grooves or raised bumps, and these are designed to apply more pressure to deeper muscles, almost as if someone is poking you really hard. If you're a beginner and never used a cylindrical roller before, I suggest using a lower density, smooth foam roller first, as you need to gradually work up to denser, more targeted rollers, which apply more pressure and can be more painful for inexperienced users. SMR tools can also be in ball-like shapes. These tools are probably the most affordable of all the tools, as you can easily purchase such tools at your local sporting goods store at low prices, like tennis balls. We already saw how useful tennis balls can be in SMR, and you can buy them in packs. Ball-shaped SMR tools are also very versatile, as they can reach the smaller, deeper muscles that foam rollers alone cannot reach, like the muscles of the neck, spine, scapula, upper back, and feet. These tools can vary in shape, size, and density, and some can serve different purposes. For example, larger ball tools, like this trigger point ball and the softball, are better suitable for larger muscle groups, like thighs, calves, hamstrings, and glutes. But since the softball is harder, it's recommended for more advanced users. These smaller tools, like the tennis ball and the spiky ball, are suitable for the smaller, hard-to-reach muscles like the feet or the upper back. And they can also apply to larger muscle groups if you need to target a specific area. This green dual-sided tool, called the P-knot, works best for feet and along the spinal column. All of these tools can be used on the ground or against the wall, but be warned, you'll experience more pressure if placed on the ground, whereas you can control the pressure if laying the tool against the wall. Beginners, I recommend using softer tools like tennis balls or even the trigger point ball if you're starting out, while advanced users can use the denser, serrated grooves like the softball or the spiky balls. Next up are the handheld devices, where you need one or both hands to operate. We have these massage rollers, perfect for lower body muscles and also within the forearms. This blue massage stick with the spiky balls is great for getting the deeper muscles of the lower body and upper body, especially the arms and chest. We've already seen the Theracane, perfect for the neck and targeted areas of the back around the scapula. Lastly, I can attest to this handheld roller, as it's smaller yet sturdy enough to get targeted areas or harder to massage areas like the shoulder and chest. I would say handheld devices are much more user-friendly and perfect for beginners. as you can truly indicate how much pressure you want to apply to the muscles. Advanced users still can benefit from these devices if they want to manually apply more pressure to the muscles. The last category of SMR tools are vibration devices, and these tools have become so much more popular in recent years. These are massage guns, giving us fast, high-powered, oscillating pounds of pressure against the muscle. Think like a portable massage chair, but you can determine the location and settings of the oscillations. These devices have gained so much popularity on social media and are appearing in elite training centers, even making a presence in professional sports. These vibration or percussive devices are so good and relaxing, yet so expensive, averaging over $300. I've seen smaller versions, like this mini Theragun, but it still costs $200, not an affordable option at all. For any of these SMR tools, don't feel obligated to purchase anything mentioned in this clinic. I'm mostly pointing out the benefits of each tool, as well as who benefits from each tool the most and its cost efficiency. Definitely consider your options and budget before you buy to assure you can fully benefit from each tool. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but not everyone can benefit or even perform SMR due to certain health conditions. Before beginning any SMR routine, please consider my warnings and precautions. First, I've mentioned how SMR techniques can be painful, especially for beginners. Certain areas will be more sensitive to pressure, such as muscle groups near the groin, like hip adductors, or muscles around the rib cage. Please use caution when performing SMR around those areas or areas that are sore. Sore muscles are more sensitive to pain and pressure. And although SMR may alleviate some of the pain, the pressure is still unpleasant. So listen to your body and consider your pain threshold. Obviously, do not roll over areas that are injured or bruised. And please do not roll at or near joints, as those areas consist of tendons which attach muscles to bones, and they are not as pliable as muscles and they are more prone to injury. Lastly, always maintain proper alignment when performing SMR to avoid injury or further dysfunction. Coming over to the contraindications portion, contraindications mean avoid or not suitable for. This chart indicates the lists of diseases and disorders that will worsen when exposed to SMR. This may not be the extensive list, so when in doubt, or if you do suffer from one or more of these diseases, please contact your doctor if SMR is safe for you to do to avoid further injury or disease. If you work with a trainer, please let them know that you have one of these diseases or disorders so we can avoid performing SMR on you. As always, your safety is our number one concern, and we want to assure that you are working out safely. In closing, although there's limited research on SMR and overall performance and flexibility, there are some short-term benefits of SMR and flexibility and recovery. Before starting an SMR routine, consult your doctor if you have certain conditions that would otherwise worsen with SMR. And when performing SMR, perform it safely and with proper alignment. Consider your options when deciding on an SMR tool, as beginners and advanced users will have different preferences in terms of intensity and versatility. Anyways, thank you for watching, and this will be the last clinic of the semester, so please watch our other videos. Both Juan and I spent a lot of time creating and editing these videos, and it would be greatly appreciated if you watch and share these videos. Our next event is Trainer AMA Session 4, about fitness tips and hacks. This will be a fun and engaging session, perfect for preparing those New Year's resolutions. As always, feel free to email me with any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. Lastly, follow the SFSU Campus Rec Instagram page at SFSU_Campus Rec for upcoming events and updates about other programming. I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. Please take care of yourself and feed your needs. I wish you all well and have a great rest of your week. Goodbye for now.